Good morning. Good morning. It's been a long time. Been a long time. I actually had practiced a couple of times to do this yesterday or the day before. Uh, I just wasn't. I just didn't like him. Didn't like him, so I moved on. Usually, I just throw him out there. I don't care what happens, how I look or sound. But I don't know. I just spent the weekend with a bunch of my friends away from Key West, away from Fantasy Fest, and it was interesting. Interesting to say the least. So I'm here to talk today about. I'm just going to give a quick update on the body electrics. I want to talk to you about the whole idea behind taking 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 this reality that has been created, like God, Jesus, Moses, uh, Aaron, and Abraham and Sarah and all these people, and actually making them real live people that existed and that they actually were people with God. The lineage that Jesus is actually, from the family of David. None of these things, not one thing, not one of those things is correct. Not one of them. And that's a line you have to draw. I'm drawing it, I have drawn it. Because if you don't draw that line, if you think even one piece of this thing is real, then you don't get it. You just don't get it. Not one bit of it is real. Oh, but you have to have the Noah's Ark story. No. No. Yeah, there's been plenty of times that people have died, and there's been stories. Yeah, oh yeah, they run all around, but they had like 300 stories to choose from. All right? No, 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 no. This whole thing is like it's like a Star Trek or Star Wars series, And what they don't have, there's a prequel. Let's back it all up back to here. But anyway, no, it's all of this. It's all of this information right here that I have here, which is ancient. You see it when you go to the doctors. You see the caduceus. They don't recognize it as that. Some of them, I'm sure, do. But when we're awake, as you and I are awake, this is called beta conscious, and everything that we do operates out of the carnal mind, and there's only 10% of it that's actually operating you. You're the conscious. I mean, our whole brain working. Our whole brain is doing things, but the only part that you have control over, your mouth and things like that, your thinking, things like that. Only 10% of the brain is doing that, and that's what's written in these stories. That's your tithe. He wants that part of you, and that part of you is the brother. It's also the neighbor in your story. It's father. When it comes down to the commandments, the very first commandment is to honor thy mother and father. And everyone seeks outside. When you think about this book and reading it, you're reading it just face forward. And they say they write in dark language. God talks in dark language. You cannot read this shit face value. And you can't pick out which one it is without listening to the Bible, and it's telling you, do not read this at face value. And those people that do are lost. They said Jesus calls them. Jesus in the book says if you read these things like this, you'll miss it, and you are called without. You are those people. They are without. That means you're missing something. And you're missing the point of the story. The point of the story is always about connecting with the Lord. That's it. Not who you screw or how you talk bad to someone or anything like this. Who's holiest of us all? Who is doing all of the genuflecting? Who is going to church who's paid up in their tithes? None of that. You can't get anywhere. Oh, well, I'm always the nicest person that I could possibly be. Sorry, you missed it too. Well, I'm an atheist and I don't believe in God, so fuck all that. So well, you're just like a believer. Ha. Look at you, think you're different. No, you're not. You're just as stupid and as ignorant to this simple way of communicating, and that's all that's being talked to. Because they put all these dogmas and stigmas on it, it's caused you to do this. So you are a product of religion. Religion is a product of the carnal mind. These are all children of hell. So enjoy your poverty. Damn it. That's what it means to repent. It doesn't mean to kill you. It means do something different. If you want to connect with God, do the opposite of what you're doing now. That's it. He doesn't say go kill them. These motherfuckers need to be stoned. Those sodomites. Sodomite means you're feeding from the lower. You're feeding from the lower. You can't get any higher. Ain't that shit? And that's all it's talking about is energies. And this is it. This is our solar plexus. We got Jesus and the devil in here. This is the seat of the devil. The third church. And if you can't get above that, you ain't never getting there. You could be the nicest motherfucker on earth. Mother Teresa. Think about that. She didn't make it to heaven. Oh, she made it into a saint. Well, good Lord, that's because she's serving the devil. All of these people are. No matter how good you think it is. That's how it goes. Boom, boom. You have to learn to make him go away. Make the skin go away. And commune with the Lord. There's no bells and whistles. There's no nothing, But that mind and the light that you bring back to this world, they can't defeat it. They have to listen to you. So for centuries now, they have gotten rid of the higher part of this mind from you and have you crying over this Jesus who never even lived, whose very way represents this kundalini, this back, the backbone, the rod, our spine, that which supports us, brings us. This is a feminine energy. And the feminine energy has been attacked for over 2,000 years. The feminine side of anything is getting beat. Jesus is scourged on his back. This is what they're getting rid of. He dies between the two eyes. In the story, this is what he's talking about, because they're in the skull. This is where the separation takes place, up here. This is where your sacrifice takes place, this flesh sacrifice. And you just go to, it's just that simple, and it's electric. And so, if you beat off all day long, jacking yourself off, watching dirty movies and shit like that, it's a sin. Well, the reason why they call it a sin is because you're indulging and feeding from the lower. That's just one of the ways that we feed from the lower. Do you also know that, Santa Claus is about this lower business, bringing things that you want versus things that you need. All your devil worshipping is down in here. Everything, you can't go higher. You can't get the devil to operate up here. He cannot operate above this line. And that devil means your wicked mind. Your wicked mind cannot function above here. Your wicked mind can only do it while you're awake. This is your decision-making area. That's why you have these two angels in here, good side and a bad side. This is you while you're awake. And this is earth conscious. It has to go. And when you're gone, then the sleeping energy of the female raises us up into higher divine levels of God. Takes us out of the lower. This right here, this is the sacrum. This in our prayer, it goes like this: Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. All right, now, bread means thoughts. Bread's what you make. If you remember any stories that I tell you about being a servant or a baker bakes things, and when you make bread is thoughts, so it's the thoughts of things. Good thoughts, and a good shepherd watches over his sheep. Sheep are thoughts. So, like if you're falling asleep and you're trying to sleep, you're counting sheep, you're really looking at your mind, you're trying to go to sleep. It's about your thoughts. Good ones and bad ones. Then they're right here. And no matter what they are, because you're alive, they're spotted. From above here, you get the spots cleaned away from you. You're supposed to come to the Lord with your spots as you are. You don't clean your spots up before you go. Everything is so backwards with religion, you know. They don't allow you to go this way. They want to keep you blocked from going up into heaven, and they are insistent upon the hating homosexuals, hating people that kill babies and stuff like that. You know, they just have this whole idea wrong. That means this little chakra here will never open for them. Anyone that believes that you have to kill someone in order to get your redemption, even killing us queers, is supposed to give you a little extra light in heaven, that God will say, ooh, oh, so you bombed an abortion clinic? Wow, you get to sit up on the front row. Psst, that is blasphemous. That's blasphemous, jerks. This will never open. This right here is what's keeping everyone from going anywhere. Their decision making keeps them feeding from the lower. You can't have a bit of this hate in you between any of you. You can't even hate yourself. That's what it means to spite your brother and your neighbor, not your neighbor next door and all that shit. You know, it's you. You know? You're the queer if you go outside of yourself and leave her abandoned and leave her waiting. Never know her. You're the beast with the whore on your back because you don't know better than that, you know? And the whole story in Revelation is that you're supposed to, oh, I got it. And now the white horse comes, and now the white horse is you're being led spiritually now. You know, down here it's all emotions, everything red. I listened to Lewindy's making fun of that Uisha bitch, you know. They're both in the same synagogue of Satan, you know, but they're amongst it shows that that's all lower. They're all feeding from the lower. She says, I've got my five witnesses out to go to the Lord against you, and I'm going to have him, you know, rake down. Well, the powers of individuals being able to rebuke someone, bring the Lord down on them, you know, is just as mystical as, you know, I don't know, Jack and the Beanstalk. The five witnesses is us. The five witnesses is what is your flesh sacrifice that you lose or that you give up in order to go and see the Lord. So do you see how she is using Scripture to bash someone else, to hurt and bring hateful to them, just like all of this hope and you know, if you listen to that cat lady, you know, she's talking about, homosexualism is an abomination. Do you know why? It's because when you seek outside of yourself, you leave her as a whore, you become spiritually dead, disconnect from the Lord, and that's the abomination. I just can't understand it. Anyways, I just wanted to give you a quick little update, but all of these people, do you know what it means to be Moses? You know, when Moses is a child, you know, he's birthed as a child. Remember, all these children are birthed in us, all right? It's the child that we birthed, the child of promise that's going to lead us out of Egypt. And Egypt is the lower mind, the lower pieces. Everything's going to bring us out of the Egypt. And he's going to bring us up the backside of the mountain. He's going to meet up with God up there and talk to a burning bush. A bush that burns and doesn't consume. That's the purging that goes on in your mind, in your body, of hell and the effects of beta conscious. It comes down with all of these things, you know, and here they are still celebrating the lower. Oh my God, you know. And even he has trouble. You know, he's what he's called Moses. Look it up. It says he's to be drawn out of the water. So what you're being asked to do is to go from earth conscious into the second phase, which is water, and then air, and then fire. And so to be drawn out of the water, this is you, Moses. You're being brought up. You're Noah. You're letting the water raise you up to the top of the mountain. They're all the same story. It's all about an energy inside of you. Nothing superstitious about it. Nothing demonic about it at all. Where the demons exist, whee! While we're awake and while we're thinking, everything. Any bit of you, demonic. Get rid of you. You're just spirit. You're beautiful again. You come back up there, go up there, get cleaned out, learn something, bring it back down, share with the world. You won't know a damn thing about what happened, but you'll have something in you to share, and the light will beam out and help purge. That's the science behind this. So if you know anything about our society, look at the two candidates that we have to choose. I'm not choosing. I can't do it. That's part of this chakra. I had to get rid of it. I can't participate, you know. I just, no, I can't. Those guys are sociopathic motherfuckers, and I just can't have anything to do with that. I can't sign on. That's why they want everyone to vote. To go. I was over at a friend's house, and they came to his house. We were working in the front yard doing something. They caught him on the sidewalk, and they were looking for him. Like, I'm looking for Jack, such and such, you know. And I said, he says, that's me. And he says, well, I just want to make sure that you're going to be voting. And I said, and I interrupted, and I said, what is so important about you going and finding people to go up there and vote for these two pieces of shit? You know? Neither one of them is worthwhile. I asked her a damn good question. Well, this is my first time ever doing this. Oh, it's your first time. Well, maybe you'll get more people like me. Why in the hell is it that you think that either one of these two pieces of shit is worthwhile, and you got to go out there and push it? Because they want you to be participating in this lower world. Do you understand? That's what locks you in. It's just like signing over to the devil, man. That's it. And it's just as simple as that. Keeps you locked into this lower world. Debt and all these things, you know, this is what it says now, to pay your debt, you know, this is what it goes down here. But what this says is to forgive your trespasses, and to forgive those people that trespass against you. If you cannot learn to love one another and to get over all of this dividing situations, this divide and conquer, this killing aspect of our lives, you will never make it there. No matter how pretty you are, no matter how nice you are. None of it. And you say, well, I've got one of the dirtiest mouths, and I was a sailor. You know, I'm a Jew. I just know I am. I am one of his. I represent what is worthy of going up into heaven. I'm telling you that. I don't know that I've ever been there. I really can't say, but I can see in my life and people and things that I do, yes, I'm connected to that man. I'm connected to that energy source inside of me. And I could not see myself without it, you know? You know? Just can't. Not from this point on. This is all it's about. So, you know, don't fret on a lot of stuff. The lower conscious and the lower things and all the troubles and the strife, this is where the gnashing, this is hell, this is the gnashing of teeth, this is where the crying and all of the hate. It's because you carry it. You are full of all that baggage. They're teaching you to hate. You got to hate. You got to vote for someone who hates. You got to vote for this. You got to be a part of a world that hates each other. You're going to have to do it. That's being of the world. And I'll tell you, it's probably not really easy to be like me. It's not. You almost have to be like semi-retired to break away from this rat race and this conscious that you have here. It's awful. This is awful. You will never get any further than here, ever. No matter who you are. The homeless down here, the Pope is down here, Mother Teresa's down here, the Clintons and the Trumps and all, they're all down here. Hell and heaven, heaven is up here, hell is here, Egypt, everything that keeps you in bondage And that's all it's set up to do, to keep you in bondage. Sign right here. Sign right here. And then you start eating up tomorrow. Giving us our daily bread. Hell no, I've had, at one time in my life, my bread was up. I'm 15 years ahead in my bread. I owe a lot to the future of my future. It goes into something that I'm doing right now. That's awful. But think about that on a large world, a biblical scale of everybody living 10, 15, 20 years in debt into the future, even more, not giving a damn about what goes on daily, or our children, or this earth, and this is all we have. You know, the Bible has you thinking you're going off to another world. Fuck all this. Leave all this shit behind. There ain't nowhere else to go. Ain't nowhere else to go. At least by this science. All there is hell. It's what you leave behind. So, enjoy yourself. I love you. Best to you.